I guess they're trying to determine now whether he needs to go to the infield or they're going to take him all the way off the racetrack. So we apologize if you heard that in the background. My apologies to... Hey, that kid knows what he's doing. He's got the black flag in his hand. Look at that kid with the black flag.
All kids know what's going on at the racetrack, so... Well,
that kid has got on eye goggles. He has grabbed the black flag before the flag man did, but now the black flag has come from the flag stand also. They know the deal, and they're pushing the 71 of Conley up the racetrack and taking it behind the wall.
And now we just get it back into the area so we can get back going racing. That's the most important thing, is that we get back racing here.
He's done. He will park it up the hill. Wow. Mike, I was asking you earlier, how many degrees of banking is that going into turns number 1 and 2? 25 degrees of banking? Wow. It's banked. Kind of reminds me a lot of Southern National Speedway in Kinley, North Carolina, about 24 degrees of banking there. It's an asphalt track. But another bank track is Volunteer Speedway in Bulls Gap, Tennessee. Right now, tentatively, we'll be there on Thursday night, August the 16th for the Volunteer Scorcher, for the Ultimate BOB and Ultimate Southeast for $10,000 no end. We're back to green. Mike Goins, this is going to be a wild race with 16 to go there in the back straightaway, and Jared Hawkins leads him into turn 3.
Again, Eddie Carrier now looking strong on the bottom of the racetrack. Eddie tries to slide up in front, just behind at the line. Still going to be Hawkins out front, Carrier in second. Tries again off of 2, can't make it stick. Rod Conley sits in 3rd, Tim Dome in 4th. Ryan Montgomery now in that 5th spot, Garnes in 6th. Again, Hawkins using the high side and that momentum to lead out front. But Eddie Carrier Jr. right there with him as he runs through the middle of the racetrack in turns 1 and 2. Just can't get off the corner like he needs to keep up with Hawkins.
And on the backstretch, problems on the inside of the racetrack. James Morey in 24. He'll go to the infield. Off of turn 2. Will stay green. 13 to go. Hawkins under attack by Eddie Carrier Jr. for the lead as they go into turn number 3.
Again, Hawkins using the high side of the racetrack and using that momentum up top. The cushion being very heavy off of turn number 4. Hawkins still able to run right through it. Carrier working the bottom of the racetrack through 3 and 4, but to the middle in 1 and 2. But it looks like Hawkins starting to pull away. Meanwhile, Rod Conley sits in that 3rd spot, a little distance back.
So now we set our way to the home stretch of this deal. 30 laps will go on the board next time by. 3/4 of the way through. 10 laps remaining in the opening 2018 Buckeye Late Model Dirt Week at Atomic Speedway in Chillicothe or Waverly, Ohio. Here, Eddie Carrier Jr. trying to run down the Jayhawk of Jared Hawkins. He leads into 3 times running out. We got 10 to go, and he's opening up the lead on cars, but he's about to close in on lap traffic as they go to turn 1.
Great battle on the racetrack, back from 5th to 8th place. Ryan Montgomery, Chris Garnes, Chad Stapleton, and Mark Frazier all right there together, side by side. Garnes and problems for...
Whoa! Oh, the leader's in trouble! Problems for Jared Hawkins! Oh, my goodness, Mike!
Again, it looks like he may have used that cushion just a bit
He
much.
cut down a tire. Right rear tire's down on the 11 car.
Was hard on that cushion through 3 and 4. And as I said, it's very tough at the top of 4 with that cushion.
Lap
and
31.
Now he's going to come to a stop.
9 laps to go. Jared Hawkins cuts down a left or a right rear tire leading. This changes everything, Mike.
It does.
Now he can go to the hot pit. He can change and get 2 new tires. He'll have that 2-lap courtesy rule, but he's going up the hill.
Looks like he's going to call it a race as he's going to pull off in turn number 2.
My goodness, what a tough break for the Jayhawk.
9 laps to go. That means we're single file on these restarts.
That's
from here on
exactly
out.
right. 9 laps. We're under 10 laps remaining. 9 laps to go. We will be single file, and that's a good advantage for Eddie Carrier Jr. in the car number 10.
So Carrier going to be out front on the restart. Rod Conley in second, Tim Dome, Ryan Montgomery, and Chris Garnes now going to be your top 5. Frazier and Chad Stapleton
sure.
sits in that 6th and 7th position.
44 move ahead to 32. 44 ahead to 32.
So 9 laps to go. Looks like the racetrack is cleared.
Single file, we're going green, 9 laps
So tough break for Jared Hawkins.
Wow.
So here we come. Our first single file restart with 9 to go. The Salt Rock Express, Eddie Carrier Jr. Going to be out front. Rod Conley in second. Tim Dome, Ryan Montgomery, and Chris Garnes, your top 5. Frazier, Stapleton, Thornsberry, Mills, and Longbreak, your top 10. Here we go. Green flag waves.
9 laps to go. Back straight away. Out in front. It is now Eddie Carrier Jr., the Salt Rock Express from West Virginia, leading the way. Rod Conley to the lead. Rod Conley trying to go to the top spot. He's trying to go to the outside of the racetrack, but he ran out of time. And Tim Dome licking his chops in third. But meanwhile, it is Eddie Carrier Jr., ECJ from Salt Rock, West Virginia, leading the way with 7 to go.
Still, though, Chris Garnes digging hard. He's up to 4th. He might be the fastest car on the racetrack right now. Chris Garnes still battling the cushion on the top side. He's now going to put some pressure on Tim Dome for 3rd.
Coming across the line, it's 6 laps to go now. Eddie Carrier Jr. leading the way. Still in second spot is Tim Dome now trying to close in. Look at Chris Garnes from West Virginia. Look at almost heaven, West Virginia doing proudly. Garnes to the outside, to the inside on Tim Dome. Looking for 3rd. They'll door slam each other going back into turn 1. Garnes goes up the racetrack with Tim Dome. This is for 3rd spot. And meanwhile, the Salt Rock Express is going out of turn 4. We're at 4 to go.
Laps are winding down, and Eddie Carrier Jr. on cruise control out front. Conley in second. Distance between the two of them, but Chris Garnes, the man on the move, he's already closing the gap on Rod Conley. So Chris Garnes up the racetrack over the cushion. Laps winding down, 4 to go.
Trying everything he can. Now make it 3 laps to go. Moving by lap traffic. Chris Garnes will now sweep up the outside lane. Now back down to the inside lane. Making a move on another Conley machine. They'll come to the line. The bullhorns are up. Garnes to the outside. Moving by the lap car. Conley 2 laps remaining. It is now the machine of Eddie Carrier Jr. trying to hold off Chris Garnes, who's got a strong piece to the line. We're white flag in the air. Mike Goins, bring him home. Who's going to win round 1 of the Buckeye Late Model Dirt Week at Atomic Speedway?
Final lap, and Eddie Carrier Jr. out front. Battle for second position. Rod Conley has it. Chris Garnes wants it off of turn number 4. Checkered flag is going to wave. Eddie Carrier Jr. takes the win. Rod Conley second. Chris Garnes in third. Tim Dome going to come home in 4th. And Ryan Montgomery will come home in 5th. Great race and a popular win. The Salt Rock Express. Eddie Carrier Jr. going to claim the win. Night number 1 for Dirt Week. So the Keaton collision number 10 of Eddie Carrier Jr. going to park it back in victory lane here at Atomic. They do have to cross the scales. So unofficially, here's your top 10. Eddie Carrier Jr. taking the win. Rod Conley going to come home second. Chris Garnes from 17th to 3rd. 4th place, Tim Dome in the 6T. Ryan Montgomery in 5th. Mark Frazier going to come home in 6th. Chad Stapleton in 7th. Austin Mills in 8th. Shannon Thornsberry comes home in 9th. And Lauren Longbreak will come home in 10th position. In top 3 cars are going to be brought back down here onto the racetrack so they can get interviews with Wesley as well as the Dirt on Dirt interviews. Again, all these cars trying to get off the racetrack and trying to get them across the scales. Chris Garnes was charging hard in that 42 machine. As we look, a lot of crew members and happy people already gathering down around a victory lane. So again, tough break as Jared Hawkins seemed to be on his way to claim that win and having that tire and problem. And Eddie Carrier Jr. able to take advantage. Carrier started in 6th position in that 10 car. And you see he's cleared the scales coming back to the racetrack off of turn number 2. So the top 3 cars all clearing the scales, coming around the racetrack to come down here to victory lane. So we'll turn it back over to Wesley down there for the victory lane interview.